welcome everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land. I hope you are all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, remember, if you like this content, you should like, comment, and subscribe to help support us and to stay in touch with everything we are doing. We do upload 14 fucking videos a week, so if you want to watch a whole lot of D&D about a universe that is all one universe, this is the spot to do it. In addition to that, if you're interested in joining us live, you can see us over at twitch.tv/ProDMJoey. And if you're interested in joining our community, we do have open slots available in many of our games. You can go ahead and join our Patreon at any of the tiers if you're interested in that. And then a whole lot of fucking videos. God damn it, Taryn. Yeah, if you want to join our games for some reason, you just go ahead and go through that. Join at one of the lower tiers first so you can talk to me and see if any of the games will be a good suit and fit for you. But without further ado, God damn it, Hocus. You're almost as bad as Mika. Anyways, I believe two of you were breaking off from the rest of the party. So we can lower that music. So, the two of you are walking down the stairs. Go ahead and start walking down the stairs so I can ping and show you where you see Lustrin is.
Kai, if you could navigate me.
All the way over here is where you need to go.
And you said they're next to a balcony. Is there one nearby?
There's another balcony, roughly about 80, 90 feet away from them.
Okay, that's the one I will go to.
Okay. You walk past the two of them as they're seated. Both of them, arms crossed and just hanging out. Nobody else really around them.
Yeah, I'm trying to, give me a second, trying to rotate.
Zoom all the way in.
Oops. Let's zoom in, not zoom out.
There you go. Yeah, if you zoom in to like 40%, you can see everything with fine detail. It is a massive map, so.
Oh, there he is. There it is.
You just put yourself the opposite direction you need to be facing.
Well, her, maybe, yeah.
There you go. You're both facing the proper direction.
So, let's see. Okay, so...
They're over here.
I'm on the right side. Yeah. I guess I was facing the wrong direction before.
There you go. You're both facing the proper direction.
Well, yeah, but Kai is looking down. I mean, the picture is looking up, but the, anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, going over here.
So, that is where the two of them are. You're not going there. You're going over to one of the balconies over here.
Oh.
Yeah.
And,
okay, rearrange
this
them
is
again.
on the first floor.
That is correct. Right beside the parlor. There's a few sub-areas that people scatter to. There's a few interesting conversation pieces inside of standing podiums, pedestals, whatever you want to call them.
So, there's... Like, so we go out on the balcony, it's more of like a patio on the ground, or is it elevated at all?
It's elevated, only about 10, 15 feet, though.
Kai
It's
looks
still a
backwards, but he's looking at the top of his head, so, I was going by the way you can look. Anyway, is this the route we're supposed to be?
Yeah, right there.
And, are there... If I take a look outside, are there any people on the grounds?
Roll me a perception check.
Ugh.
Hey, you're the one looking.
I know, but it's just I'm always so shit.
You wait a couple of minutes, and you're aware that guards are patrolling, but none of them come around you. It's not like there's a forced march every minute rotation. It's more relaxed than that, but they are doing their job.
Right. Well, I might be doing something stupid. Here, hold my shoes.
Kai like give us a look, but holds them.
And I'm going to climb over the side of the balcony and try to sneak around to listen to the conversation.
I whisper, should I be letting you do this as your guard?
You are aware that you have like a poofy dress, right?
Yes.
Give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage. Ugh.
I always thought
I have a natural climbing speed.
I thought Kai
Give
was
me an
gonna blow-
acrobatics check.
I thought Kai was going to blow it, but it looks like it was Tyrion.
Who knows?
Still with disadvantage.
Yeah. Do you see that dress? Come on.
Imagine trying to climb up the wall with only your hands.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Second story work.
Kai is ticked off at Tyrion and is trying to make sure she doesn't end up falling on the ground.
Well, it's only a 10-foot drop anyways, but you managed to shimmy, like, kind of off, but with your dress, you're, like, stepping on it and trying to maneuver and, like, kicking it out of your way as you try to grab it. You realize you're making a lot of noise.
Kai is whispering through his teeth, Tyrion, stop it.
Well, why don't you take care of this bug that landed on me?
I had to endure not touching. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's thinking he had to endure not eating the cake, and now Terrence going to blow everything.
I made an attempt. So this bug keeps climbing on me.
Kai reaches out and flicks it with his finger.
There's not an actual bug.
Yeah. Just putting on a facade.
Yeah.
Well, one of the guards rounds around the corner while you're still kind of, like, awkwardly standing there. Are you okay, ma'am?
Yes, there's an insect that landed on me and surprised me. Thank you for checking in.
Right. Well, for your safety, please get back onto the balcony.
I thought it was like halfway on, halfway, like...
Well, yeah, but that's still half. Like, not on the ledge, get on.
Yeah.
You're straddling the balcony.
Yeah. All right, so you get back on, and he continues walking, and about 40 or 50 paces or so, he stops and just positions facing the estate and rotating around. Clearly keeping an eye on you now.
Yeah, and I'll put my shoes back on. And just continue fussing at Kai, which is fairly natural behavior.
Okay. So, the two of you are down there, and, well, now we can move away from, that music. There we go. Out on the balcony, you watch as an individual steps out over here and sees the two of you and is holding a flute. Mind if I join you? She looks to be half elf. Thank you. And shimmies her way out there and looks over at you, Taryn, and just leans against the balcony and takes a very long sip from the flute. Oh. Starting to get a little warmer.
Yes, it is. Excuse me, I am still a little flushed from earlier. It
Oh, what happened? She immediately turns around. Ooh, gossip.
I was assaulted by some sort of very large bugs.
Bugs? Ew. I mean, I know they're around the woods, but you figured they would find a way to, like, stop them.
Right?
You know?
You'd think.
I mean, with all of this magic and protection they have from creatures moving in here and all of that other shit, like, come on. What about some, like, I don't know, bug repellent, right?
Certainly. And, with all of these layers and such, you just. It's so hard to maneuver yourself.
She looks at your dress. Who made that?
Who did make that?
Easter.
Easter, that's
I don't
right.
know. I just robbed some random noble to get it.
Kai whispers, Easter.
His name was Easter. We had a very high recommendation to him.
You got your dress made by Easter? Oh, that is fantastic. That is incredible. Wow. I've been meaning to get him to commission, but he's on back order for like the next 6 years. It's so tedious, no?
Unfortunate. And he was such a dear to work with.
I always hear that. Oh, of course, you can't tell him too many details or else he gets really upset.
Right.
By the way, Tardane, pleasure.
Alessandra, a pleasure as well.
Wonderful. So who did you get scooped up working with and coming out here with? 'Cause she looks you up and down and, like, looks at your toes, which are a little dirty from stepping on a ledge. Yeah.
My husband and I were invited here. He's, did we decide on his title?
Sir.
Sir. He's... Gotta find back over here. Sir Kostash from Marquette.
Marquesian. Okay, I see it. I like it. I like it. I've never been to Marquette myself, but I hear so many wonderful things about their parties out there. Oh, just never ending.
Yes, it's quite something. And certainly. It's much more of a high tempo kind of event. This is more laid back than what we're used to.
You're telling me. I was dragged here by my dad. Duke von Liechtenstein.
Oh, you are... I haven't had the pleasure of being introduced to him.
Yeah, he's always working at these events. It's really getting tedious, and apparently he's upset with me about, not pursuing the family trade and not pursuing any of the businesses and not pursuing a quarter, and I apparently have to start coming to these things and find yourself a partner or get a job, getting tedious, Ugh.
What would you rather do?
I don't know. I'm kind of just doing it,
Certainly.
Yeah. I mean,
it does take some time to find your niche.
Totally, right? Like, why do I want to bog myself down with one thing? Like, I can do so many things. Like, I could work in art galleries, right? I could put on my own expos, right?
Certainly.
I mean, I have a keen eye for fashion. I mean, I almost discerned an Easter original.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, I could do that, or, maybe, I don't know, be a property manager, like, for large estates. I don't... And marriage is just so boring. All of these nobles? I mean, I get
Not
it.
if you find the right one.
Well, I mean, I've been having issues with that this whole time. I mean, everyone I meet, they go, "Oh, hello, Lady von Liechtenstein. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Here, let me help you with that carriage. Let me help you with the walk. Let me hold your bags." Like, come on, guys. Like, have a little flavor. They're all so bland.
Have you tried the Menagerie Coast?
No, but right now can't really do that, you know.
Of course. But that would be my suggestion. The coast is where I met my husband.
I'm not sure how Daddy would feel about me getting someone outside of Tal'Dorei. However, maybe that'll piss him off.
Or if you're making steps, it's still your own way of making steps in the direction of what he desires for you. How could he complain about that?
Right? How could he? I mean, I don't know. I've gone to so many of these outings at this point. I mean, like, I hear the same thing from all of these individuals. And, like, she turns around and looks out through the doors at the crowd. I mean, there's Tatiana out there. She has been around the ropes with everybody inside of this place. I mean, half of the noble families out there have all, you know, they know. And, you know, I respect it. She do what she do. But, like, why settle for all of these noble people? I mean, the farmhands look more fun. And not even to mention that, you start looking at the Michelsons. Oh my god, the Michelson family. They have 6 boys. And they're like, I went on a date with 3 of them. For some reason, that was an idea they had. And they were all talking about how they just want this big family. Listen, I am not pumping out kids like that. Like, fuck that shit. You look at all of these people popping out kids and everything. You see how they look afterwards? I don't want any of that. No. No.
No.
I mean, look at the wrinkles. You can see the depression.
Right? Certainly. May I say another suggestion?
Yeah.
I was not born into nobility. I married into nobility.
Oh.
Now.
You're the mistress?
No, I'm initially a business partner. But we happen to have that spark, you see? Now,
wait, are you telling me you married out of love?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, it is possible. Now, that may be an avenue for you, only in reverse. If you have a title and there's someone who brings other benefits to the marriage, that may work as well.
Right, like if they're tasty. She looks around and, like, she actually looks at Kai for a couple of minutes or moments and
I just
and keeps going.
Smiles.
You know what? You might have a point. Although my dad would be so pissed off.
Well,
that could be fun though. I don't know. It gives me something to do over summer.
Yeah, certainly. Now, real quick, out of character, how old did Lustrin look?
For a human, mid to late 20s.
Mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Now, I happen to make an acquaintance with a certain tradesman here, who looked fairly young. You have to understand, human age is very difficult for me to discern, but fairly attractive as well. And he happens to be sitting right over there at the next balcony.
She looks out over. Are you referring to Lustrin Zeth?
I am.
Oh.
Now, what's the matter with that?
Oh, nothing at all. I mean, he is dark, mysterious, very, very wealthy as well, and never ever takes any dates. Huh. My father
So
actually
unfortunate.
sent out letters. Ugh, so fucking annoying. He sent out letters telling everybody, just so you know, she is available. I mean, like, why would you do that? Why?
How
Right?
embarrassing.
And of course, I checked the letter pile, and he sent one to Lustrin, and he never replied, unfortunately. I don't know, he looks like he would be more entertaining than most of these buffoons. And at this point, you see a dwarven man walk out, or to the balcony and knock and go, oh, what did I name her again?
Lady von Liechtenstein.
Tardane, Lady Tardane, hi. I was just coming here to see if you would like to, accompany me on a walk around the estate. What is it you do for a living, darling? Oh, I actually own one of the largest business laundering firms, or not laundering, business lending firms in Tal'Dorei. We do a whole lot of different work to help different farms, government buildings, government officials move all of their finances and invest them into proper areas. And I think like it's really good, intricate work. I could really talk. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Jesus. Yeah.
I see what you mean, Colin. I'm so sorry.
I mean, just bland white bread. It's so boring. Honestly, they should go to school to learn how to have some flavor in their life. Oh,
I understand.
I lend money for a living. Makes no sense. Anyways, oh, Lustrin. I mean, that would be incredible.
Perhaps I could put in a word?
Yes, please. And she like scoops your arm and starts dragging you over there.
I will
So I'll move you
go.
over. So you walk over there very quickly, and Lustrin is still sitting there at the table, relaxing, you know, hands folded in front of him. And she just elbows you.
Pardon me, Sir Lustrin. I recently made the acquaintance of Lady von... Didn't write it down.
Von Liechtenstein.
Von Liechtenstein, and I thought I would, since this evening's all about making new friends, and I was fortunate enough to make your friendship, perhaps I could introduce the two of you.
He looks over at the two of you. Tardane von Liechtenstein, correct? Pleasure. What is it that you, do for a living again? Oh, well, I mean, I've been in the market of thinking about setting up my own galleries and different lavish events and sorts such as that, or maybe property management as well. Oh.
An event coordinator.
You sound so ambitious, young lady. Pleasure to meet you. And he just smiles. You as well. Yeah, so what is it that you do for a living? Professional tradesman, acquirer of goods, and, well, general confidant for people of business and trade. Oh, so you just, you trade things for a living. Not just things. Intrigues, mostly. Any interesting artifacts discovered along the menagerie or outside of that realm? Any fascinating materials that have been dug out through the ancient ruins from the Age of Arcanum and, well, any newly developed and potent magics that came from across the seas. I'm usually the individual who deals with all of those. Wow, that is so fascinating. So you just find the rarest things in the world and mostly transport, sometimes acquire, sometimes learn, research, whatever it takes to sell it and turn a good profit, after all. That is incredible. I mean, that is... And you enjoy that? Keeps the mind busy and the hands moving. Right. So, like, what do you do for fun? I go to events such as this. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say hi, and I'll see you around. And she, like, whispers to you as she turns around and leaves. Oh my god, he's just as boring as the other ones, just cuter. And just walks off.
And as we're walking off, there's a certain smile that I'll give that is a thank you for your indulgence.
He just smiles and keeps staring out the balcony window.
Well.
Oh my god, they're all so boring. Should I go talk to Chef? Like, the chef? Like...
Perhaps going on that walk with the gentleman who was from before might open up some options.
Going on walks with them is the most boring thing in the world. They talk about themselves for like 40 minutes straight, give you short, unopen-ended questions about yourself, and then get upset with you when you don't have any real, authentic connection to them, and, you know, always throwing a hissy fit. You never gave me a chance. Oh no. Maybe I'll just become a professional drinker. And she picks up another flute.
Well, darling, I wish you the best, but I must be returning too.
Yes, of course. You take care. And she'll just keep drinking herself into a deeper depression. So, back at the table. Sneak, you were abandoned all by yourself.
I was.
With Alistair.
Poor unfortunate soul.
You still have me.
Food is marvelous. Excuse me, are you the advisor?
I'm assuming he's looking at me.
Yes.
Wait.
Nope, that didn't work. Try again. You're muted.
My roll 20 is not moving.
Yeah, that happens. Roll 20 sucks ass.
It's Hammer, right?
Von Hammer.
Hammer. Okay.
With an A.
And did he respond to Duke?
Yes.
Right, so I will bow and I'll say, yes, that would be I, sir. Duke von Hammer.
Oh, please, take a seat. Sit down, enjoy yourself. We still have another half an hour until the meals begin. You know what? Sir Dracul? Is that Dracul? Mr. Dracul. Can I just call you Dracul?
Of course you can.
I would like you to sit at my table during the feast.
Sir, you flatter me with such an honor. It would be my pleasure.
It would be so entertaining to have another, you know, down-to-earth individual like myself at the table.
Oh, I'm glad that you say so. I like to think of myself as being so down-to-earth I practically have roots.
There's a streak of red hair growing as a vein has burst underneath the fur.
Oh, by the way, enjoy some tiramisu yourself. One of the chefs cuts you a slice as well, Alistair.
Alistair will do his best curtsy and take a what do you use, a spoon for tiramisu?
Sure.
Depends how thick the custard is typically, but we'll say it's a thinner custard because custard takes longer to settle. So 4.
Right. Yeah. I'll take a fork's amount as I'm testing the limits of this chair.
The chairs are incredibly sturdy, and even for you, I mean, like, you're overflowing in it a little bit, but they were designed to support him, so you're fine.
That's why I didn't mention it. It's like, I could tell by the comparison.
Oh, this is so wonderful. You know, all too often... Oh, please, my cheek. Thank you, sir. All too often, we come to these events and individuals end up doing nothing but just talking shop. And, like, they don't really appreciate the finer details that go into this. You know, after supper, we're all going to be having a short breakdown, and many of the individuals who are going to be here are going to make their leave, of course. However, a select few are going to be given the grand tour of our basement, cellar, and collection.
My God. Who is on such a privileged invitation-only event?
Well, of course, at the request of, a different associate of mine. Unfortunately, we have to leave out Sir Uric. He understands. He has to get back to his daughter anyways. You know how it is. Being a man in a position of power, like he is, it's very dangerous for him to, you know, just leave his child unattended. I mean, not that servants aren't great and all, but, I mean, compared to him... Whew. He looks back. You two are chump change. At his 2 guards that have been charged with the duty of protecting his life and wiping his face. So, aside from him...
A second streak.
Yeah. Lady Cromwell will be joining us for this as well. Of course, Lord Zeth will be attending this. I believe we will have,
He will.
Lady Stonesword? Yes, of course. I mean, he's always so interested in, well, a large portion of the collection I have comes off of his vessels, after all. Oh, and have you met Minister Malik yet?
I have not.
Oh my goodness, she's the one who's been playing music this whole time.
Ah, I was wondering where such fine tones were coming from. I thought I caught her eye earlier, however, I did not have the chance to introduce myself.
Let me spell ministrate correct. Or sorry, not ministrate, magistrate.
Ah.
Yes. Oh, she is wondrous individual. She comes from your homeland, actually, from Marquette, and she is, now just between you and I, of course, just us ladies. She is in talks of becoming the 2nd Marquesian representative on the Tal'Dorei Council.
My, what a pleasure and an honor to be in the company of someone so important.
Oh, yes. She's incredible wordsmith, and she has this odd, strange sense. I don't know what to call it. Magic, maybe? Where she can, like, look into your eyes and rip out who you really are. I mean, it is invasive as all hell, but oh, that gaze is, I mean, you remember it forever. I mean, I remember the first time she did it, I just became who I am. Really, really who I am. And oh, that's why I'm so fabulous now. And he takes another deep sip of his champagne. He's on glass like 6. Just since you've been sitting here.
He's got the mass to support a good drinking habit.
Well, I mean, stout halfling plus a mountain dwarf. Yeah, he's good.
He's got the con score.
We call it.
Yeah. The only way he could be more resistant to poison is if he was a yuan tea.
You know, I would be...
Was it dwarven yuan tea?
I would be fascinated to speak with such a woman.
Oh, well, I mean, I would like to invite you and the missus to maybe gather a room here at our fine estate and perhaps accompany us. We have spare lodging upstairs. A couple of other individuals notified me a little last minute that they won't be coming anyways, and I don't want... I kind of want to fill the slots before other people just, you know, casually bring up in conversation. So I hear you have extra room. I don't want everybody in my inner circle, you know.
I couldn't possibly impose. I mean, who else would be staying? I wouldn't want to put you out of anyone else's guests.
Oh, just a handful of individuals from out of town. It's no issue at all. And in all honesty, I mean, all of us can afford lodging.
Of course.
Yes.
In that case, it would be a travesty for me to refuse the offer.
Oh, yes, it would be. Oh, I like you so much. It's such a fresh change of pace. You know, I may have to move my business over to Marquette soon, because I've only met 6 Marquesian individuals, you know, actually from there. And I love all of you so far, so I think I need to move. Maybe when I'm in your neck of the woods, you can show me around, hey?
It would be a pleasure to show you around the family home.
Oh, yes, can you describe it for me?
It's beautiful. All sandstone, wonderful carved cartouches in every corner. The pillars, you would not believe. My father, bless his soul, he is an indulgent type. So he had this, it's awful, but it's wonderful. He had this fountain installed in the courtyard, and he had some poor court magician. His entire job is to sit there transmuting the water into wine.
Wait. Water transmutation out in Marquette? Oh, you must be far more well off than I assumed originally.
Oh, it is my father's money. Alas, the man just refuses to die. But...
Oh, I know that heartache. I loved me papa.
Oh, I love me papa too. But he does seem intent on spending the entire fortune before I get my hands on it.
That does happen as well, but at least he made sure you were set up with a beautiful circumstance, a beautiful mate, and a beautiful heart.
Indeed. Though I fear to say my father had no hand in that particular consult.
Really?
We ran into each other. Indeed, we ran into each other on the Menagerie Coast.
Oh, love story. Please continue.
A holiday for me, a business venture for her. I fear at first it was a marriage of convenience. I brought some right. The name brought some credibility to her business venture, and she gave me the chance to make something of myself with business rather than sit there waiting for my father's money. 2 weeks in, it was not just convenient. I was smitten.
A partner who believes in you. That is all we can ever hope for.
Precisely.
That is so beautiful. You know, my papa, he is much like that as well, and he gestures past Sir Uric, where hanging up on the wall is this obnoxious 20-foot by 40-foot family mural. There is a very short, roughly about 3 foot tall, halfling man with a squiggly beard, gray hairs, and he is currently sitting there with a very strong, very wide dwarven woman with the very coarse red beard that's already woven together sitting on his lap. And there's Orsic standing behind the chair that his father is sitting in, looking so happy and proud, wearing a sailor's uniform and clearly about 40 years younger.
Amazing.
Is it in the style of the last breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I'm not familiar with that piece. What is it?
That was a joke
The
about
Last
the Last
Supper.
Supper.
Oh my god.
The last second breakfast.
The last breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I'll give it to you, Carl. I'll give you a laughter. That was a good one.
I liked that.
Well, that is my dear Papa. Oh, wondrous man. Heart failure a little too early in life, of course. He was only 65, but what's to be expected when you live on the edge of excitement? I mean, do you know the audacity it takes for a halfling to court an Uthadurnian first-generation family lineage dwarven woman?
The man clearly had a constitution befitting of his stature.
Oh, of course. I mean, I remember listening to the stories and how all of her friends would laugh at him for attempting. Of course, all of them were very judgmental, you know. The dwarven heritage and bloodline out there, I mean, she comes from one of the first generations of any of the dwarves over in Uthadurn. And yet, he wooed her. Marvelous man. Beautiful couple.
Like the proverbial Shetland chasing around the Shire.
Oh, he actually didn't chase her at all. He knew better than that. Oh,
Oh.
I'm sure you know, the more you have to pester a woman, the further away you get.
Oh, I know. Sometimes when I come on too strong, even now we are married, Alessandra, she will pretend she doesn't even know me for an evening.
So at this point, Alessandra, were you heading back up there after your engagement? You catch that aspect of the conversation as you walk up here.
Fuck.
I do what, darling?
Oh,
You are the
we're
most
just...
wonderful woman in the world.
Oh, nice save.
And our most gracious host has invited us to stay the night and on an incredibly exclusive tour of his wine cellar.
Oh,
actually, the whole basement, not just the cellar.
My God.
What
We will
an
be in the
offer!
esteemed company of our good friend from who we were recently speaking with. I believe we ran into Lutheran Zeth and the future magistrate who is soon to be on the Tal'Dorei Council.
Yes, Magistrate Malik is a wonderful woman.
And I do hope that you had the good sense to accept such an offer.
I thought it would be inconceivable to decline.
It did take a little persuading. Oh, and don't worry, he gestures towards you, Alistair. I did not forget about you. Of course, as their confidant, you will be able to stay in one of the open rooms in the Help's house.
You are too kind.
Of course. Sorry.
Taryn, you notice that he no longer has pure white fur.
It's a
There's
little red.
There's a streak of red around the forehead.
Well, I do think that I may have pestered our friend, Solustrin. I ran into I can't remember her name, the lady Van...
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
Von Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
who simply was fawned over him. So I thought perhaps, since we are making such good friends here, that I could perhaps introduce her to him, and I think it went rather poorly, unfortunately.
That's the
Poor
spelling.
girl.
Oh, well, I mean, I did tell you all, I think, well, there's a little possibility that the two of them are, you know, he and his assistant.
Oh.
Right. But I thought perhaps that she was simply gushing about how unfortunate she had been in her endeavors to find a partner, and I'd been so lucky in mine, and I thought perhaps I could share a little bit of that luck, but it seems to not work so well.
Always sharing love. I love you as a couple. You two are so wonderful. Oh,
God, she
you know,
flatters me.
all we ever need is love. I learned that homage from a local druid band walking around. They called themselves the Beatles.
Really?
Yes. Oh, I spent many a nights with the Beatles, and whew, I have to say, their hookahs had something special. Love.
Goodness.
I have samples that we can partake in downstairs. Fresh from Marquette. He points at you, Sneak. I have a handful of special items, and don't worry, I already paid the fee. I know they're illegal, but I paid the fee.
Well, is it illegal? Simply more expensive.
You are adapting to the lifestyle of a noble gloriously, and he grabs your hand and taps the top of it. Oh, oh, I love this.
Alistair is going to excuse himself from the table.
Okay.
And as he walks past a servant, he's going to whisper. Sorry, I forgot. He's going to whisper. Where the hell is a washroom?
A walk-in?
A washroom.
A washroom. He looks at you and he notices the look, and he brings you over towards the servants' washroom, which is soundproof, so you can scream as much as you want.
Insert thaumaturgy scream.
Yep. Yeah, they're used to it.
Barrier.
They're used to it.
And I'm going to clean myself up before I come back out and take my place next to Sneak.
Only a minor nosebleed. You're fine. But anyways, I believe dinner should be starting any ding 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 moment. Oh, my timing is impeccable. And of course, now we enter into the dining situation. Let me gather everybody of importance. Alistair, you are not allowed to seat yourself at this table, unfortunately. Kai, can you bring you and Taryn back over to the table, please? So Taryn can take her seat.
Sure.
I was about to ask, but I was muted. I assume that there's enough people here that I won't be able to.
Yeah, absolutely not, unfortunately.
That is very fortunate because now I don't have to bother.
That's the spirit.
No, I need some discreet earplugs so I don't have to hear this man.
Don't worry, it's an entree. He'll be too busy eating, right?
I'm assuming he's just going to be louder.
He has table manners, thank you.
Except the man that inhaled chicken wing.
Well, he left. We've all been there, right? Right?
The fuck does his laugh cause enough suction power to inhale a bone?
He's an expert, you see. So, you two are already positioned at the table appropriately, and you watch as a number of different individuals wander up here, and a handful of the other tables, imagine there's other tables, are beginning to be filled with other denizens. By the looks of it, this place has close to 40 nobles right now, which is kind of a mind-boggling number for most of you, because you've only ever been in cities that had, like, 4 nobles. Other than Rexingtrum, admittedly, that one has probably 30 nobles in total who live there. But this is still an absurd number of nobility, and you see a couple of individuals look over at your table where Sneak and Terran are seated, and they get, for a very brief moment, a dirty look before they snap and move on. Clearly, certain people are upset that the newcomers are welcomed at that table, and they're not. Of course, everybody fills all of these seats and slots. And the entree, or the meal, begins. As you are all seated down, many of the individuals will make their acquaintance towards one another if they don't know who they are. Luckily, you have met most of them. Lady Cromwell will introduce herself. Hello, Lady Cromwell. Pleasure to see you. And you see Bori is already at the table as well. She sits up and looks very excited for the grub to begin. And you notice the same individual from before who was on the staircase, who hung out with the other 2 young-looking people on the stairs, sits down, and he looks over at you all, and he has to introduce himself to everybody. Hello, my name is Indigo. It is a pleasure to meet you all. As you all sit there, the first preparation to your meal begins, and they bring out salad that has finely cut steaks of tuna, freshly cooked, minced together, placed inside of it with some sliced vegetables and whole cherry tomatoes in them. As they walk around, there's only a strawberry vinaigrette being offered to you as the dressing. And the meal begins. So, as the 2 of you sit there, everybody else begins talking shop with one another, enjoying their company, and enjoying the conversation that is happening. Lustrin does not get a terrible lot of attention drawn towards him, as there is a new person that nobody knows, Indigo, and he's actually fairly intriguing. So, Indigo, how do you like our land so far? I have to admit, it is quite a lovely place and home. I do think you could do more with the space than you are already doing, but I suppose you know best in this matter. Yes, of course. Indigo, everybody, he is a far traveler from a forgotten land. It is called, what's it called again, sir?
It's so forgotten the DM doesn't remember.
Yeah, I forgot.
Forgotten land known as New Jersey.
Jorhas, sir. Jorhas. Ooh, sounds fancy.
Jorhas?
What a ways
Sure.
indeed.
He smiles over at you. Yes. Well, I thank you all very much for being so hospitable to me. I'm very appreciative of this. Oh, no worries at all. I mean, if you are a member of the dynasty, as you proclaim, you are always welcome at my table. And he taps the table twice. Rowan turns over towards him. I am very curious. I've only ever heard of Jorhas passingly. Your community does not usually reach outwards and interact with the rest of Exandria. Why all of a sudden are you being their representative? Oh, it is quite simple, really. With the impending situation happening on Wildemount, we thought it would be appropriate if a couple of us learned our potential allies a bit more intimately in their cultures. You know, given our mutual found enemy. Oh, that is understandable. Though, we try to keep the talk about war off the table. And everybody in queue starts laughing. But Indigo doesn't laugh. He just smiles. Well, very well.
If I understand the gentleman correctly, he's talking friendship and not war.
Oh, friendship we love in this area. Isn't that right? And everybody at the table nods and smiles, and Stonesworn is she smiles as well, but then rolls her eyes as she looks away. And the meal is very delicious. Everybody at this table finishes the meal, or the salad, completely. Aside from Lustrin, he only dabbles in it here and there. Then it is taken away, and all of you are served a strawberry sorbet. Oh no, that's at the end. All of you are served a soup. It is a very simple tomato bisque. No special additives, anything like that. Just a little basil, a little seasoning. I mean, it's really good, but after eating Call's food, you understand why he's considered the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have two other new people at the table today. And, Lady Bone Grip looks over at you. Oh, yeah, we got to meet ourselves. It was a pleasure meeting the two of you earlier. And, of course, I didn't forget about what we talked about. My servant should be getting in contact with yours in the coming day or so.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, I'm looking forward to that coat. A coat, you say? Did you commission them for a special job? Stonesworn looks over at the two of you. So now you do specific handiwork as well. Interesting.
We have our contacts.
And is this one of the alluring aspects of your business?
Certainly. We are looking to grow in a few directions, branching out into new materials perhaps, and also exclusive services to those who know fur best.
Oh, I'm sure there's so many people just aching to take a piece of that and invest in. Lustrin speaks up. Actually, there is. I was considering forming a little bit of a partnership already. They had a very good idea with a line of furs that are less hardy on the skin and easier to breathe with that you could wear during, well, more tedious weathers. Not to mention, this would be the group that leads the way to an open canal being traversed across our landscape and connecting further down south via trade. Immediately, Stonesworn kind of like looks between the two of you, and that sounds like a marvelous opportunity. Be sure to fill me in once you have a bit more of the specifics worked out, please.
Absolutely.
And Lustrin looks over at the two of you and like rolls his eyes.
There's a grin that's slightly like...
Yep. Hey, he's got your back.
Yeah.
Oh, But yes, I mean, I am looking forward to that. I mean, we have been telling Whitestone for years that they need to open up better trade with the rest of us. I mean, how else are we supposed to get them to send all of their electrum mines and all of the other things they have out there down to us? I mean, I don't know about all of you, but I like a lot of the fancy things they have out there. And, oh, it would be so glorious if we can just share.
Certainly, and I'd be happy to point out, if the roads are more open, a few places that you should visit while you are there, if you make a personal visit to the city.
If you say anything about the Slayer's cake, I've been.
You have?
Oh my god, I have only ever been to one other establishment in the world where I filled myself up before I finished what I bought. And isn't that right, Sir Yurik? Shouts to another table, and Sir Yurik raises a glass. Always a pleasure to have you, sir.
Oh, that must be... You must mean Carl.
Oh, yes, Paul. I would do anything to have him as my personal chef. Oh, it would be amazing. Bone Grip chuckles a little bit. Yeah, personal chef, all right. Excuse me, Bori, do you have something to say? He's smiling while saying this. Oh, yes, of course. I mean, God forbid anybody looks at him a little deeper, eh? Oh, Bori. And he is flush right now. If you're gonna have a crush on a man who knows how to fucking cook. But anyways. Cromwell.
The way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yo, that applies to everybody. Thank you very much. I have a couple of exes that I had no chance with if it wasn't for the fact that I knew how to make good lasagna.
Ooh, lasagna.
I see. Lasagna is now the food of love.
I mean, hasn't it always been? Nothing says I love you like I gotta bomb your bathroom. Anyways, Lady Cromwell will look over towards the two of you. As I understand it, Lady Vexalia is against the notion of us setting up trade routes throughout the terrace and territory because it would actually disturb the ecosystem a little bit. How do you anticipate getting around that issue for many other individuals? I mean, I would personally hate to see anything happen to the wondrous indigenous individuals who live out there and decide to live by their own beat of the drum.
Well, there are, shall we say, ways that are less invasive than a traditional road. And certainly, with the lady's guidance, we are looking into ways that are, well, as I mentioned earlier to our host here, that are more sustainable. That is our angle and how we are trying our best to work both angles, as it were.
Lady Bone Grip will speak up. Wouldn't that be a little less profitable, though? You know, if you have to always pay them off to be able to move through there. Or are you thinking about something a bit more gruesome? Cromwell
Certainly
kind
not
of
gruesome.
snarls at her as she says that.
Certainly not gruesome, but the way that we see it now, some trade is better than none, and as our tactics improve and we gain better leverage, we in it for the long haul.
Well, I would like to work very close and personally with you in this ordeal to make sure that the preservation of the natural landscape of the Alabaster Sierra is never sullied or destroyed.
Certainly. I grew up in the area myself and am very attached to our unique and unspoiled nature.
Roll a persuasion.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I'm using my game advantage. God fucking fuck!
She hears your words, but she seems to still be suspicious of you. Typically speaking, business people don't give a damn about preservation of nature. And as you learned from her, she cares a lot about it. So she wants to work more closely with your fake persona about preserving that sanctity. Hey guys, if this ever fails, you just got to get yourself some fake paperwork and become real nobles, and there you go.
Right?
New campaign, Diplomats of Tal'Dorei.
We failed to save the world, but now we're actually nobles.
And of course, if you have some ideas, I'd certainly be welcome to hearing a different perspective.
Very good. Of course. I'll have to look into it much more in-depthly. Would you mind giving me a place to stay out there? I can leave possibly within the next 3 weeks and do my own research over the next 4 to 5 months to see what I'll be investing.
Certainly. I will have our liaison work out the details.
Wonderful. And she looks back. Would you mind going to communicate with him? And you have that woman who is her personal guard walk over to you, Alistair. And the two of you may excuse yourselves.
Wonderful.
Hope you know how to make a fake trade, Alistair.
Well, he is a tradesman by actual.
That is true. Yeah, he has the best chance of actually knowing what the fuck he's doing. Oh, this is so wonderful. You know, this is why I love these parties so much. You know why I love these parties, Von Hammer. Bori raises her glass and takes another deep sip. Indigo smiles.
Out of
You
character.
are so...
Out of character, I am just waiting for somebody to make a one-hammered joke.
I expected that from you.
Yeah, but I can't speak my mind here.
True. And Indigo speaks up. So, I am very curious. All of you seem so relaxed right now. Is this the typical custom for these type of social events? Oh, of course. You know, we're all here. No reason to be unfriendly and uncouth with one another. We love to love. Wonderful. He smiles. So, I understand that you, had a couple of spare rooms. Would you mind if I stay here for the evening? Indigo, I would be honored if you wanted to stay here for the evening. Fantastic. Stonesworn, clears her throat. Yes, didn't you have 2 of those rooms available? The accommodations at my other location weren't exactly met to my standard. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind if I stayed as well. Oh, I am so sorry, dear, but we just gave away the other spot to the new couple, and gestures over towards the 2 of you. And she just snarls at you two.
And we are very grateful for the offer.
Of course. We can count this as your honeymoon. Oh, what a wonderful honeymoon. Oh, that is great. Mrs. Stonesworn, do you think you can get them a nice, very good bottle? Of course. Anything for the new couple. And she goes back to her meal. Now owing you 2 bottles.
Yes.
And
And Taryn is eating it up. like I was born in the woods, and now this woman who has had everything handed to her for her entire life now owes me 2 of the best bottles of wine in existence. I am excited.
Oh, this is so wonderful. So, Lucian will speak up. Duke von Matterhorn, do you think, there will be a moment later this evening to talk that business that I wanted to get your input on? I think we could spare a couple of hours. I mean, if you don't mind me bathing while you communicate. Of course, I need to work off all of the sweat from today's activities before our evening tour. It shouldn't be a problem at all, sir. It's not like I haven't seen it before. Oh, you gesture, you. I love it. I mean, why ever pay for a jester, am I right? Sneak, I need you to roll an insight check to see if you notice and laugh at that moment. The table chuckles and then, haha. Oh, this is wonderful. But anyways, the entree is brought out, and it's a very large lobster tail, like surprisingly big lobster tail. All of you are kind of, have we got our portable hole? Maybe. You guys didn't bring any of your bags, actually. You're not allowed to bring bags. So.
Did someone stuff it in their pocket?
It can't get stuffed in a pocket. It's too big.
Oh.
It folds up into, like, a cloth that's, like, a blanket that folds up. Yeah, think of it like a full, like, a blanket that's can fit over the average person folded up. That's a portable hole.
In Tempest's bag.
Well, anyways.
We'll give him, like, a big, like, fanny pack or something.
It's my bedroll. But anyways, enjoy it. Surf and turf. And you also get some beautiful filet mignon brought out. Sneak, because of your time spent on the Menagerie Coast, you are very familiar with these lobster tails, and they are absurdly overpriced in the Menagerie Coast. To get them shipped here, to still be fresh, and still be edible, on the Menagerie Coast, that tail would cost you 2 gold.
Factor of 10.
Yeah. And each of you are given 1. He gets 2. These people got money. Yep. And the filet mignon is just so delectable. About halfway through the meal is the moment when the guards are allowed to have their 5-minute break. It is when a different set of guards from the host comes out to watch over you all, so your guards can use the bathroom, eat something, drink something, cry a little bit, whatever they have to do, but it's 5 minutes. Let's be real, we've all worked for other individuals.
Yep.
So, Kai and Tempest get to walk away, and you have 5 minutes of respite with all the other guards. 4 of them literally just walk over to trees and just start punching them as hard as they fucking can. Like, they are done with this bullshit. Another guy is, like, leaning up against the wall, crying while looking at the locket of his daughter. Doing it for her. I'm doing it for her. Doing it for her. Like, these people are not okay with the circumstances they're in.
Wow. Wow.
Behind the scenes of nobility. Yeah. We've all been there. And then there's the 2 veterans who just start smoking and look up into space. Oh. You know, I fought in the war against Vecna. Yeah, I heard you last time.
This is worse.
But anyways, after that, all of you end up having your strawberry sorbet, and then the evening comes to an end where most of the guests are going to be leaving. You know, everybody has to pay their respects to Orsic, and all of you at this table, other than Rowan, is going to be staying here, though Rowan has to stay here because she has to accompany you all on the tour of the wine cellar. That is her specialty. It takes another about 45 minutes or so for everything to wind down to just those of you inside of this hall. During that time, Lustrin walks up behind the two of you. Sneak and Terran.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually fairly short. I mean, only about 5'2" or so. You wouldn't have guessed it from the way he carries himself, but, he's really not that big. So, I hope you all enjoyed the fine cuisine and conversations. Sorry for blurting out during that. The two of you looked a little flustered, and I know what it's like to be berated by the Stone's Wool.
Well, we are new. It is to be expected.
Of course. Doesn't mean things can't change for the better, of course.
Certainly.
I actually was kind of curious to talk to you about your intentions more privately. I think we have a good 20 minutes or so before everyone's available.
I would like that very much. Thank you.
Of course. Follow me. And he starts walking over to this door over here. The guard in front of it nods and lets him pass through. So, we're looking over here, everybody, if you want to come on in.
Kai, if you would please assist.
Okay.
I'll actually drag the two of you in the room.
Thank you.
There we go. Alice there as well. Oh, nope, that's not the button I wanted to push. All right, can all of you see in here?
Yep.
I still can't.
Yep.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I'm watching the stream, so
You're
He brings
special.
you all. He brings you all into what appears to be the personal study of Duke Orsic, or von Hammer. Sorry, Duke von Hammer. And he sits down at the far chair by himself and props his feet up on the table and gestures to a wider couch that the two of you could fit on together. He looks over as you bring your two servants in, and he will bring his liaison with him as well. He sits very relaxed, arm across the couch and feet up on the table as he looks out over at the two of you.
I will in turn sit a touch more relaxed.
You know, it's very strange. Two of you coming to this event, you know? Typically speaking, we don't get many people, in the know. Now, I don't recognize either of you, but, I mean, given your position here, I have to assume you're probably not connected to my organization, possibly another.
We have our own connections, of course. But you're right. No, we are not with your people.
Yeah. I could tell from the mannerisms. You would have recognized me a little sooner. Anyways, it is always a pleasure to have opportunity to connect with other groups. The Clasp has been trying to find a connection into Whitestone for some time now. It always keeps getting uprooted by Vexalia. Some history there, of course, but I think it would only be beneficial in the long term for all of us if we did actually solidify our grasp there. How did you get yourselves positioned under Vexalia's nose? I'm very curious about this.
She's highly suspicious of Nobleborn, and I happen to not be. I'm lucky to marry into it.
And I don't have the typical air of most nobles. I can be exceptionally charming when I need to be.
I could tell you smell a little different. It's not an insult, just refreshing.
Most people just smell brimstone.
Oh, you have to look a little closer. See, for you, I can smell the open air. The sea. Must have spent a great deal of time out there, huh?
Quite some time, in fact.
Wonderful. Now, I am willing to work alongside your organization, of course. And I am, well, number 5 in the class. So, my deals and offers do not come easy. They have to be in favor of all of us, and I typically don't like to offer more than 2 deals at a time. I think a 70-30 split. We can give you manpower, accessibility. We can give you necessary ties to different shops and businesses. We can get them allocated to us. And you provide us with the inn. Then all of the profits that we filter through the city, you keep 30, we take 70.
I like the sound of the offer, but the numbers seem a little skewed.
Keep in mind, I only ever give 2 deals.
Well, the inn that you're looking for, as you noted, there is some sort of upfront cost to doing so.
Are you asking
what if
for
we
fiscal backing as well?
What if we start at 60-40 and then move to 70-30 in, say, 4 or 5 months once we've had things established?
And will I be providing the fiscal investment towards this? Or just the
10%? The 10% difference in the profit is what would provide the fiscal support.
And how long do you anticipate it would take us to actually sort of solidify our position in Whitestone? Months? Years?
Months. I have a very reliable group there.
Really? Well, you're going to have to tell me a little bit more about that. Unfortunately, as you know, I can't just take your word for it. You understand?
Certainly. You could say that they are as close as blood can be.
We happen to have some familial leverage.
And what is this leverage?
I am in a position of significant responsibility over the good lady's daughter. And if something were to happen to this delightful young girl, the lady would be beside herself.
I can tell you're a little new at this. Your leverage may be usable, but we're going to need a third party to blame it on. You do not threaten Vexalia. That is not how you continue doing business. If that's your only
She has
angle,
no idea that it's me.
you do not threaten Vexalia. I can tell you, I've been in this industry for, admittedly, a long time. I started as just an urchin in Iman, and I've moved up to my rank and position, as you see. Vexalia is not an enemy that you wish to make long-term. The last time we attempted to do that, I lost 36 good workers. Well trained.
I'm not surprised. However, there have been recent developments in Watson that not many are aware of outside of the Alabaster Sierras. A certain group of underground dwelling dark elves have had a civil war that has leaked to the surface.
Really?
Yes. We happened to capture and interrogate one such individual and learned some of the power dynamics enough to make it believable.
So what you're proposing is you take Vexalia's daughter and you blame it on the war in that area. You
Things
have her
happen in
focus-
chaos.
I have to say, when I sat down to do a deal like this, I was not anticipating ruthlessness of this degree. I need a deception check from both of you.
Oh, yes.
Well, for one of you, that's all, yeah.
Well, is Terra not assisting me at this?
Sure, I'll allow it to be rolled like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the ball rolling, she backed me up.
Yeah.
Oh, God, come on, guys. 16?
Can I give them a +4 by standing next to them?
You're not a paladin, so no, not. The guidance is an active thing. You verbally say you can't just.
Can I growl?
It's like, come on,
That won't
buddy,
help.
give me some 4s.
Yeah, that wouldn't help. 16 deception. The clasp does not deal in that type of work. If you work for that group, then I should make you aware that I have 16 class members within a 100-foot radius of me at all times. And we will have to find out more. He
Surprise,
looks
it
over
was
at
me
you,
all along.
Alistair.
Oh, shit.
No, yeah. However, I'll give you this one opportunity. Feel free to leave. The clasp does not deal in that type of murder.
No,
Not necessarily what's it on the
What's he
table.
getting at?
I'm gonna insight him.
Go for
Be
it.
like, I want to know if he knows. Because this man has done nothing but frighten me this entire time.
I feel like that's been your response to the last 3 NPCs, other than Call.
And,
Like that's
Major
a reasonable
NPCs.
response to those NPCs.
Yeah. Well, major NPCs, you know.
I should have just
So-
added advantage on that.
You should have. Dirty 20. He wears his face like an outfit. However, he seems to sense some level of deception in them, which put him on the defense of trying to make a deal with them. He hasn't pinpointed what it is they're doing, but he pinpoints that there's something off. Right now, he's accusing them of being Myriad. And he works for the Clasp. He's very important in the Clasp. But, as I said, I am not interested in making a deal. Oh, you were muted? Go ahead, then.
Yeah, okay. I was like, why did you start talking? I was in the middle of explaining something. No,
you weren't, though.
Got up. So, quick reminder to myself and a slight question to you, I guess. Yorick wants his head literally to know if he is connected to the Myriad?
At least wants his head. However, you need to have some form of proof before doing that.
Well,
as of now, you guys know nothing about it. Like, you can be suspicious, but he openly has declared he's a member of the Clasp. But him being a member of the Clasp is not demonizing. It's fucked up, but they don't murder, and they don't slave trade. Myriad is fucked up.
If you're insinuating that we are part of a network that has very, shall we say, stronger ties to the Menagerie Coast, that is not who we work for.
Regardless, your type of dealing is not of interest to me. You see his assistant twists her fingers, and the door behind you all opens.
Well, I do appreciate the opportunity nonetheless.
You all take care. And he removes his feet from the table and walks with her directly behind him, like within inches, out of the room. And I think that is a good place for us to end the session tonight, y'all. Players, thank you very much for playing. Viewers, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all had a fantastic time, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.